Ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk to you today about something powerful, something that can transform your life, the ability to get up and become someone nobody recognizes. Now, this isn't about changing who you are at your core. It's about becoming the best version of yourself, a version that the world has yet to see, a version that even you might not have fully discovered yet. Each of us has the potential to become someone extraordinary, but it requires work. It requires you to rise above the everyday distractions, to push through obstacles, and to take action toward your highest potential. You see, most people settle for comfort. They settle for the life they've been given without ever thinking they can change it. They wake up, go through the motions, and repeat. But if you want to become someone nobody recognizes, you have to break out of that cycle. You have to step into a new version of yourself. What does it mean to become someone nobody recognizes? It means transforming your mindset, habits, and actions so dramatically that when people see you after a while, they will be amazed by how much you've grown. It's not about hiding who you are. It's about uncovering who you truly can be. Don't wait for life to give you permission to evolve. Get up. Start moving toward your goals, even if it's one small step at a time. You can't change the past, but you can absolutely shape the future. Let me remind you, every successful person, every leader, every innovator was once in a position where they had to decide to rise. They had to decide to become someone better than what they were yesterday. And so can you. So get up, take charge of your destiny, and let the world see the new you, the one who refuses to settle for mediocrity, the one who refuses to live on autopilot. Become the version of yourself that leaves everyone in awe. The first step in becoming someone extraordinary is to take full responsibility for where you are and where you're going. Own your decisions, your actions, and your future. Growth happens when you step outside your comfort zone. If you continue doing what you've always done, you'll stay where you've always been. Your best investment is in your personal growth. Whether it's learning new skills, reading, or taking courses, make sure you are always improving yourself. Learning doesn't stop after school or college. Commit to constantly acquiring knowledge that will help you evolve into someone better and more capable. Stop settling for good enough. Raise your expectations of yourself. Demand more from yourself every day. When you aim higher, you achieve higher. Big changes don't happen overnight. It's the consistent effort day in and day out that leads to transformation. Stick to the process, even when it gets tough. The people you spend time with will either inspire you to grow or keep you stagnant. Choose to be around people who encourage your growth, not those who hold you back. Failure is not the end, it's the lesson. Don't fear mistakes. Each failure is a step toward becoming someone better. Change is inevitable if you want to become someone new. Don't resist it, welcome it as part of your journey toward greatness. If you're serious about transforming into someone no one recognizes, you have to be relentless. Keep going even when the path gets difficult and never let setbacks stop you. Taking responsibility for your life is the foundation of all success. It's about acknowledging that where you are today, your circumstances, your achievements, your challenges are the results of the choices you've made. And here's the truth, if you don't take responsibility for your life, you hand over control to others, you allow circumstances, people, or even your past to dictate your future. But when you take responsibility, you unlock your true power. You see, life is not happening to you, it's happening through you. It's easy to blame the economy, your upbringing, or even bad luck for your situation, but as long as you're pointing fingers, you're giving away your power. The moment you decide that your future is up to you, you take control. It's about saying, I am responsible for my thoughts, my actions, and my outcomes. This doesn't mean you're to blame for everything that happens to you, but it does mean you own your response to whatever comes your way. If you're not where you want to be, don't waste time complaining. Instead, start asking yourself, what can I do today to change my situation? This mindset shift is liberating, because it puts the power back in your hands. When you take responsibility, you stop making excuses. You stop saying, I wish I had more time, or I'll do it when I'm ready. Instead, you focus on action. You start making choices that align with the person you want to become, not the person you are right now. It's also important to understand that when you take responsibility, you stop blaming others. You stop blaming your boss, your spouse, your friends, or even society. No one else is responsible for your success or failure, you are. Once you accept that, you'll start making decisions that move you forward instead of staying stuck in the past. Taking responsibility means you embrace the power of change. If you don't like where you are, you can change it. If you don't like how things are going, you have the ability to change them. It's up to you to decide the direction of your life and make the choices that will lead you to where you want to go. Now, this doesn't mean you have to do it alone. Taking responsibility also means seeking help when needed, learning from others, and using the resources around you. But in the end, you understand that the ultimate responsibility for your life, your success, and your happiness lies with you. So if you're ready to take your life to the next level, it starts with one simple decision: to take responsibility. And once you do, the world will begin to respond in ways you never imagined. If you want to grow, if you want to become someone truly exceptional, you must challenge your comfort zone. The comfort zone is a nice, safe place. It feels familiar, and it's easy to stay there because you know what to expect. But here's the harsh reality. Nothing extraordinary ever happens in the comfort zone. It's a place where growth comes to a halt. If you want to achieve something greater, something that truly transforms your life, you must step outside of what feels comfortable. You see, growth only occurs when you push yourself beyond your limits. It's when you face challenges that you discover your true potential. You don't grow by staying where things are easy, where you already know the answers. Growth happens when you're faced with something new, something that stretches you, something that forces you to adapt. The more you challenge yourself, the more capable and resilient you become. Now, I know it's tempting to stay where you're comfortable. It's tempting to settle into the routine, the familiarity, the status quo, but remember, comfort breeds complacency. And complacency will never lead you to greatness. You need to embrace discomfort, because it's in those moments of discomfort that you truly evolve. When you step outside your comfort zone, you take on new challenges, and every time you overcome one of those challenges, you become stronger, wiser, and more capable. Understand this, the first step is always the hardest. It's that moment when you're standing at the edge, looking out at the unknown, wondering if you have the courage to take the leap. But here's the thing, courage isn't the absence of fear. Courage is acting in spite of fear. When you challenge your comfort zone, you are inviting growth into your life. And every time you take that leap, you prove to yourself that you are capable of more than you thought. They don't wait for life to hand you opportunities. Go out and create them by challenging yourself. Seek out those situations that push you to grow, whether that's taking on a new project, learning a new skill, or simply confronting a fear you've been avoiding. Every time you step outside of what feels comfortable, you're one step closer to becoming the person you were meant to be. Remember, no great achievement ever came from playing it safe. Whether it's in your personal life, your career, or your relationships, the most successful people are the ones who decided to challenge their comfort zones. They didn't wait for things to be easy. They made things happen by stepping into the unknown and facing their fears head on. So if you want to become someone truly extraordinary, if you want to achieve things that others only dream of, then you must challenge your comfort zone. It's not always going to be easy, but it's always going to be worth it. Keep pushing, keep growing, and remember, nothing remarkable ever happens without a little discomfort. The moment you step out of that comfort zone, you open yourself up to a world of endless possibilities. If you want to build a life that's truly worth living, you must understand the incredible power of investing in yourself. You see, there's no better investment than the one you make in your own growth, your own skills, and your own development. When you invest in yourself, you're not just putting money into a savings account or buying things that depreciate over time. You're investing in something that appreciates infinitely your own potential. Think about it. The most valuable asset you have is your mind. The more you feed it, the more it grows. The more knowledge and skills you acquire, the more you have to offer to the world. And when you invest in yourself, you're not just improving your life for the present moment, you're setting yourself up for long-term success. But this kind of investment requires time, effort, and money. It's not always easy, and it's certainly not instant. It's about putting in the work now to reap the rewards later. Whether it's reading books, attending seminars, taking courses, or finding a mentor, these are all ways to invest in yourself. Each of these actions, no matter how small, is a step toward making yourself better, more capable, and more valuable. Too many people neglect this kind of investment. They spend money on gadgets, clothes, or entertainment, but they forget that the best return on investment is the one that comes from improving yourself. When you focus on developing your mind and your abilities, you create opportunities that others simply don't have. The more you learn, the more you can do. And the more you can do, the more valuable you become in your career and in life. But it's not just about learning new things. Investing in yourself also means taking care of your health, building strong relationships, and developing a mindset that is unshakable in the face of challenges. It's about creating a foundation in your life that allows you to perform at your best day in and day out. The key to investing in yourself is understanding that it's a lifelong process. This isn't something you do once and then forget about. It's an ongoing commitment to growth, to improvement, to becoming the best version of yourself. Every day is an opportunity to learn something new, to improve a skill, to get better at what you do. And the more you invest in yourself, the more you'll find that the world opens up to you in ways you never imagined. So don't wait for the perfect time to start investing in yourself. Start today. Make the decision that your future is worth the effort, the time, and the money. Whether it's a new book to read, a course to take, or simply a new habit to develop, every investment you make in yourself is a step toward creating the life you've always dreamed of. You're the one who has the power to shape your future. No one else can do it for you. So start investing in yourself now and watch as the return on that investment becomes the foundation of your success. The best part? The more you invest in yourself, the more you'll realize that you're capable of far more than you ever thought possible. The path to success and fulfillment is never a straight line, but rather a constant journey of learning, growing, and adapting. Becoming a lifelong learner is one of the most powerful decisions you can make for your life. It means committing yourself to never stop improving, never stop discovering, and never stop evolving. You see, knowledge is not something you acquire once and then move on from. It's something you continuously build upon, layer by layer, throughout your entire life. The world is changing faster than ever, and those who are able to stay ahead are the ones who commit to learning. The most successful people aren't the ones who know everything. They're the ones who are always curious, always seeking new information, and always open to new ideas. They understand that growth doesn't come from resting on your laurels or relying on what you already know. It comes from embracing new knowledge, new perspectives, and new challenges. Learning doesn't just happen in a classroom or from a textbook. It happens in the everyday experiences of life. You learn from your mistakes, your successes, your interactions with others, and your observations of the world around you. Every conversation, every book, every seminar, and every challenge you face holds valuable lessons. If you approach life with the mindset of a lifelong learner, you begin to see opportunities for growth everywhere you go. One of the most powerful aspects of being a lifelong learner is that it opens the door to endless possibilities. When you commit to learning, you open yourself up to new ideas, new opportunities, and new skills that you may not have even considered. Whether you're learning a new language, mastering a new technology, or gaining deeper insights into your field, each new piece of knowledge you acquire expands your potential. But here's the key: learning is not just about accumulating facts or information. It's about applying what you learn to make better decisions, solve problems more effectively, and improve yourself. The value of learning isn't in how much you know, but in how much you apply. Every new piece of knowledge is a tool that you can use to improve your life and the lives of those around you. A lifelong learner also understands that there's always room for improvement. There's no such thing as arriving when it comes to personal growth. No matter how successful or knowledgeable you become, there's always more to learn, new skills to acquire, and new perspectives to consider. That's what keeps life exciting. It's the never-ending process of becoming more than you were yesterday. Being a lifelong learner also means being open to feedback, willing to change your mind, and not getting too attached to one way of doing things. The world doesn't stand still, and neither should you. The ability to learn from others and to embrace change is what separates the ones who thrive from those who get left behind. So ask yourself, how much are you learning today? How much are you investing in your personal and professional growth? And don't let the years go by without continuously feeding your mind and expanding your horizons. Whether it's reading books, attending seminars, taking courses, or simply talking to someone with a different perspective, every new piece of knowledge is a stepping stone toward becoming the best version of yourself. Make the decision today to become a lifelong learner. Commit to growing, evolving, and embracing new ideas at every stage of your journey. Because in the end, it's not what you already know that will take you to new heights. It's what you're willing to learn next that will truly shape your future. If you want to live a life that stands out, a life that's truly fulfilling, then you must set higher standards for yourself. Too many people go through life with low expectations, accepting whatever comes their way, simply going along with the flow. But the truth is, you can't expect to achieve extraordinary results if you're only aiming for mediocrity. You have to raise your standards and expect more from yourself. Setting higher standards isn't just about aiming for big goals, it's about the way you approach everything in life. It's about deciding that you deserve more than the bare minimum, that you're capable of achieving greatness. When you set high standards, you refuse to settle for anything less than your best effort. You hold yourself accountable to a higher level of performance, to excellence in everything you do. When you raise your standards, you start attracting better results. It's not that the world suddenly becomes easier, but when you elevate your expectations, you begin to show up differently. You show up with more energy, more focus, and a greater sense of purpose. You start thinking bigger and acting bigger, and that's when opportunities begin to open up for you. The key to this is to set standards that are just beyond your current comfort zone, standards that stretch you and challenge you to grow. The people who achieve remarkable success aren't the ones who settle for the average. They are the ones who set impossible standards for themselves, who demand more than what's expected, who won't accept anything less than excellence. They don't let excuses get in the way, and they don't allow setbacks to keep them from pursuing their vision. Instead, they use every challenge as an opportunity to push themselves further, to learn more, and to become stronger. Raising your standards isn't just about work or achievement, it's about your whole life. It's about the way you treat yourself and the way you treat others. It's about setting high standards for your health, your relationships, your integrity, and your character. When you hold yourself to a higher standard in all areas of life, you become the kind of person others look up to and respect. You become a role model for those around you, someone who doesn't settle for the status quo, but constantly strives for something greater. But here's the thing, setting higher standards isn't always easy. It requires discipline, consistency, and the courage to push through discomfort. It means saying no to the easy choices and yes to the ones that challenge you to grow. It's about making decisions that align with the person you want to become, even when it's hard, even when it's tempting to take the easy way out. The power of setting higher standards is that you become the person who rises above circumstances. You no longer wait for life to hand you opportunities, you create them by holding yourself to a higher level of performance and commitment. When you raise your standards, you show the world what you're truly capable of, and you inspire others to do the same. So what's it going to be? Are you willing to settle for what's comfortable and easy, or are you ready to set standards that will push you to new heights? Start by expecting more from yourself, by demanding more from your actions, your mindset, and your choices. Raise the bar. Choose excellence and watch as your life begins to reflect the higher standards you've set. Because the truth is, when you hold yourself to a higher standard, the world will begin to meet you at that level. Consistency is one of the most powerful forces you can harness in your life. It's not the big bursts of effort or the one-time actions that create lasting success. It's the small, consistent steps taken over time that lead to incredible results. The truth is, anyone can have a good day, make a big push, or show up strong for a short period. But the real difference between those who succeed and those who don't is consistency. You see, success is not built in a day. It's built over time through repeated, consistent action. It's about doing the small things day in and day out. Even when you don't feel like it, even when it seems like nothing is changing. Every day you show up and do the work, you're laying the foundation for your future success. And it's the repeated effort that compounds into something great. The key to consistency is understanding that it's not always about perfection, it's about showing up. It's about staying committed to your goals and making progress, no matter how small it might seem in the moment. Most people make the mistake of thinking they need to be perfect or that they need to have a huge breakthrough right away. But success doesn't happen overnight. It's the consistent effort that pays off in the long run. Think of consistency like planting a tree. You don't plant a seed one day and expect it to grow into a tree the next. You water it, you nurture it, and you care for it every day. And over time, the tree begins to grow, develop roots, and eventually bear fruit. The same goes for your success. The efforts you put in every single day, no matter how small they seem, are what will eventually lead to the results you desire. Consistency also builds momentum. The more consistent you are, the easier it becomes to stay on track. It's like getting a snowball rolling down a hill. It starts small, but the more you roll it, the bigger and faster it gets. When you stay consistent, you start to develop habits, and those habits eventually become second nature. This is when progress starts to feel effortless. You don't have to force yourself to do the work anymore. It becomes a part of who you are. The beauty of consistency is that it's within your control. Anyone can be consistent if they commit to it. It doesn't require talent, extraordinary intelligence, or luck. What it requires is discipline, focus, and the willingness to show up every day and do what needs to be done. It's about making a promise to yourself and sticking to it even when the going gets tough. When you stay consistent, you build trust with yourself. You prove that you're reliable, that you can depend on yourself to keep moving forward, regardless of the circumstances. But here's the catch. Being consistent doesn't always mean immediate results. It doesn't always mean you'll see instant feedback or recognition. In fact, many times you'll feel like your efforts are going unnoticed or not making a difference. But that's the test. It's in those moments when you keep showing up, even when you don't see the immediate payoff, that your true character is built. This is when consistency is really tested, and this is when you need to dig in and keep going. Over time, as you continue to show up and stay consistent, you'll start to see the rewards of your hard work. Your skills improve, your mindset strengthens, and your results start to reflect your efforts. But none of that would be possible if you hadn't stayed consistent from the very beginning. So if you're serious about achieving anything worthwhile in life, commit to consistency. Show up every day, put in the effort, and trust that the results will come. Stay disciplined, stay focused, and most importantly, never stop. Because consistency is the key that unlocks the door to lasting success and fulfillment. The people you surround yourself with have an immense influence on the direction of your life. You've probably heard the saying, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And there's a lot of truth to that. The individuals you associate with shape your mindset, your habits, and even your opportunities. If you want to achieve greatness, you need to make sure that you're surrounded by the right people, people who inspire, challenge, and support you. The right people push you to grow. They don't let you settle for mediocrity. They raise your standards and encourage you to reach higher. They see your potential even when you don't see it yourself, and they make you believe that you can achieve more than you ever thought possible. They are the ones who believe in you even when it's hard to believe in yourself. They don't just tell you what you want to hear, they tell you the truth, and they do it with care because they want to see you become the best version of yourself. On the other hand, the wrong people can drag you down. They may not do it intentionally, but their attitudes, behaviors, and mindset can influence you in ways you don't even realize. Negative people can drain your energy, fill your mind with doubt, and keep you stuck in a mindset of fear and scarcity. They'll tell you why something can't be done or why it's too hard, and over time, their limiting beliefs will begin to seep into your own thoughts. That's why it's so important to be selective about who you let into your life. Surround yourself with people who encourage you to dream bigger, work harder, and think differently. These are the people who challenge your ideas, push you out of your comfort zone, and inspire you to be more. They understand that success is a journey, and they're tight to walk it with you, offering guidance, support, and wisdom along the way. But it's not just about having people who inspire you, it's also about having people who hold you accountable. The right people are those who keep you on track, who won't let you make excuses or waste time. They are the ones who will tell you when you're slacking off, when you're not living up to your potential, and when it's time to step up. These are the people who are truly invested in your growth, not just your comfort. You must also surround yourself with people who share your values and vision. When you align with others who are going in the same direction, who want similar things, and who are committed to personal growth, you create a powerful support network. This shared connection allows you to learn from each other, exchange ideas, and create opportunities together. It's much easier to stay motivated and focused when you're surrounded by people who understand and support your goals. Don't be afraid to outgrow people who no longer align with where you're headed. This is a tough truth, but an important one. Not everyone is meant to go on the journey with you. Some relationships are meant to teach you something, and once that lesson is learned, it's time to move on. Holding on to toxic or unproductive relationships only keeps you from moving forward. It's okay to let go of people who are holding you back, because by doing so, you make space for those who will help you grow. Invest in relationships that challenge you to be better, that lift you up when you're down, and that celebrate your successes without jealousy or competition. These are the people who bring out the best in you, who help you stay focused on your goals, and who encourage you to keep pushing when things get tough. So take a hard look at your inner circle. Are they encouraging you to become your best self? Are they inspiring you to grow and push beyond your limits? Are they holding you accountable and helping you stay focused on your goals? If not, it might be time to make some changes. Remember, your environment plays a huge role in your success. Choose to surround yourself with people who challenge you, support you, and help you become the person you're meant to be. The right people will elevate you to new heights, while the wrong people will keep you stuck. Be intentional about who you allow into your life, because the people you surround yourself with will shape your future in ways you can't even imagine. Failure is not the enemy. In fact, failure is often your greatest teacher. It's not the falling down that defines you, it's the getting back up. Too many people fear failure so much that they never even try. They worry about what might happen if they fail, and in doing so, they miss out on the opportunity to learn, grow, and become stronger. But here's the truth: failure is part of the process. It's not something to fear, it's something to embrace. When you understand that failure is an inevitable part of success, it loses its power over you. It's simply a stepping stone, a moment in time where you learn a valuable lesson. Failure shows you what doesn't work, and in doing so, it guides you toward what will. Every time you fail, you're gaining more knowledge, more experience, and more insight into what it takes to succeed. The most successful people in the world didn't get there by avoiding failure. They got there by facing it, learning from it, and using it to propel them forward. The key is to change your mindset around failure. Instead of seeing it as something to be feared, start viewing it as a necessary part of growth. Every time you fail, you get closer to your goal because you've eliminated one more thing that doesn't work. It's like refining a process. You don't immediately come up with the perfect solution, but with every failure, you improve, you adapt, and you get better. Most people are paralyzed by the fear of failure, and this fear keeps them from taking risks or pursuing their dreams. They worry about what others might think, how they'll be judged, or the shame of falling short. But here's what you need to realize: no one ever achieved anything remarkable by playing it safe. The most successful people are the ones who took risks, who put themselves out there, and who weren't afraid to fail. They understood that failure wasn't permanent, it was just a temporary setback on the road to success. You don't learn how to swim by staying out of the water. You have to dive in, you have to get wet, and you have to be willing to make mistakes. The same goes for success. You have to take action, and sometimes that means you're going to fail. But each time you fail, you're one step closer to figuring it out. You're learning what works and what doesn't, and that is invaluable information. Failure also builds resilience. When you face setbacks and keep moving forward, you develop strength. You learn how to handle disappointment, how to pick yourself up, and how to keep going despite the odds. This resilience is what separates those who succeed from those who give up. It's not the people who never fail who achieve greatness. It's the people who keep going after every failure who reach their goals. One of the most powerful things about failure is that it's never truly final. You can always try again, adjust your approach, and come back stronger. It's only when you stop trying that failure truly defeats you. So keep going, take those lessons, make adjustments, and keep pursuing your goals with even more determination. Remember, the fear of failure is far worse than failure itself. The fear will hold you back, keep you stuck, and prevent you from reaching your full potential. But when you stop fearing failure and start seeing it for what it is, an opportunity to learn and grow, you unlock the door to unlimited possibility. So don't fear failure. Embrace it, learn from it, and let it fuel you on your journey to success. Every successful person has faced failure, but what sets them apart is that they didn't let it stop them. They kept moving forward, and that's exactly what you must do. Keep learning, keep growing, and never be afraid to fail. Because failure is not the end, it's just the beginning of your next great achievement.